First, human reproduction, male reproductive system, and then the female reproductive system. What and all is there? Then gametogenesis, menstrual cycle, fertilization and implantation, pregnancy and embryonic development. Finally, parturition and lactation. All right. So, what are the tissues which are involved with the male reproductive system? Number one. Then, regarding how it is getting produced and getting stored. The semen is getting stored in the, that one we had to see. Next one, what's this said? Seminiferous tubule. Okay, diameter section of seminiferous tubule, how it is getting produced. All right, so there are three diagrams which are involved in it. Here, interstitial cells, spermatogonia and spermatozoa, and these would result in the formation of sperms. And then the female reproductive system, we'll be looking into the uterus, urinary bladder, how the symptoms, synapses arises, and how the ovum is getting developed and it gets settled in. All right, this one we'll be going through next. Okay. Representation of mammary glands. All right, production of milk. Okay, milk. Then gametogenesis, how the gametes fuse together. What are the parts of sperm and what it is used for, how it is used for. Getting stuck in between.
Well, it's full.
Students or something, it will happen like this. Let's see. Parts of sperm and how each and every part, what is the use of that? What is the use of acrosomes? What will be in head? What will be in neck and tail? What is the use of tail? Likewise, section of ovary, how the ovum is getting formed from corpus luteum. Spermatogenesis is formation of sperm and oogenesis is formation of ovum. Right? Then the phase. Various events during menstrual cycle. What would happen during menstrual cycle? The 28 days of cycle, what would be happening there? Then menstrual hygiene, why it is very, very important. Then fertilization and implantation. What could be happening while fertilization happens? What kind of acid a ovum has? What kind of chemical it has? Why sperm is getting attracted towards it? All right. And when the first sperm enters into the shell, what would be happening? Those are the things which we'll be discussing here, right? Then what is pregnancy and embryonic development? How it develops.
This topic only 1.2 next time.
Then parturition and lactation, the final topic.
That is what I'm struggling at.
Hmm?
That's the topic I'm struggling at.
Why?
We did not understand it.
Let's see. We will move through all the pages. It's not that much. Okay, it's not that much. We can easily move into it. We went through what and all we are going to see first. Now we are going into that system. Human reproduction. As you're aware, humans are sexually reproducing and viviparous. What is viviparous? The reproductive event in human include formation of gametes, gametogenesis, sperm in males and ovum in females. So gametogenesis is a branch in the two parts. One is spermatogenesis, one is oogenesis. Spermatogenesis, formation of sperms, oogenesis, formation of ovum. Then sperms in male and ovum in female. Transfer of sperm into female genital tract, insemination, is known as insemination. Formation of gametes is known as gametogenesis. Transfer of sperm to female genital tract is known as insemination. And fusion of male and female gamete is known as fertilization, leading to formation of zygote. This is followed by the formation and development of blastocyst and its attachment to the uterine wall, implantation. Embryonic development, gestation, and delivery of baby, parturition. Okay, delivery of baby, parturition. You have learned that these reproductive events occur after puberty. There are remarkable difference between reproductive events in the male and in female. For example, sperm formation continues even in old men, but formation of ovum ceases in women around the age of 50 years. Let us examine the male and female reproductive system. Whatever you want to underline it first.
Phases means like it will stop us.
Yeah, menophase. Yes, pa. It will stop around 48 to 50, 52. That phase is known as menophase. We'll be coming across.
No, in many movies there like above 50 itself that they're getting pregnant.
It will be ceasing around that time. After that time, ovum will not be produced. So there will not be any bleeding phase at all. Yeah, that phase is known as menophase. Don't worry, we will be studying about it.
Why would they say that in movies?
Around 50 is, it can be 48 to 55 maximum, 55. After that, they won't be producing. Okay. Let us examine the male and female reproductive system in human. The male reproductive system. The male reproductive system is located in the pelvis region, including pair of testes, along with accessory ducts, glands, and external genitalia. Okay. Here, what and all, diagrammatic section view of male pelvis showing reproductive system. What and all is there? Seminal vesicle. Okay, seminal vesicle, urinary bladder, vast difference is getting, the sperm would be transferred from here. All right. Then prostate. Okay, prostate, then penis, then urethra, glans, penis, foreskin, foreskin. This is testis, this back, scrotum. Then this one, bulbourethral gland, anus, rectum, and ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct. From here only it will be getting stored and ejected. Right? Okay. The testes are situated outside the abdominal cavity within a pouch called scrotum. The scrotum helps in maintaining the low temperature of testes, 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the normal temperature. Since it's outside, the temperature will be low. Apart from normal body temperature, it will be 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower. If the temperature increases, the production of sperms also will be less. All right. Necessary for spermatogenesis. In adults, each testis is oval in shape with a length of about 4 to 5 centimeter and width of about 2 to 3 centimeter. It is just like a, not like a round, it will be like an oval, egg shaped, ellipse. Okay. The testis is covered by a dense covering. Each testis has about 250 compartments called testicular lobules. Testicular lobules. See, dense compartment, testicular lobules. So, if you view in this manner, ureter, vas deferens, epididymis, vas efferentia, reti, testis, testicular lobules, urinary bladder, seminal vesicle, prostate, bulbourethral gland, urethra, testis. All right. That's what we are going across. Each lobules contains 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubules. This is testicular lobules, which has 250 compartments, more than 250 compartments, about 250 compartments. Then each lobule contains 1 to 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubules. Okay, well, seminiferous tubules. Highly coiled seminiferous tubules. Then, in which sperms are produced. Highly coiled seminiferous tubules, sperms are produced there. Each seminiferous tubule is lined on its inside by 2 types of cells, male germ cell and Sertoli cells. Male germ cell, spermatogonia, that is what will become sperm. All right, then Sertoli cell, which is in next figure. We saw this now. This is Sertoli cell, which is in next figure. The male germ cell undergo meiotic division, finally leading to sperm formation, while Sertoli cells provide nutrition to the germ cell. The regions outside the seminiferous tubules called interstitial place contain small blood vessels and interstitial cells or Leydig cells. ரொம்ப important, Leydig cells, interstitial cells or Leydig cells. Leydig cells synthesize and secrete testicular hormone called androgens. Other immunologically competent cells are also present. What is the use of Leydig cell? Synthesis and secrete testicular hormone, androgen. Leydig cells are the one which produce this testicular hormone called androgen. All right. The male sex accessory ducts include retitestis, vasa efferentia, epididymis, and vas deferens. The seminiferous tubules of the testis open into vasa efferentia through retitestis. The vasa efferentia leave the testis and open into epididymis, located along the posterior surface of each testis. The epididymis leads to vas deferens that ascends to the abdomen and loop over the urinary bladder. Epididymis to vas deferens. Okay. It receives a duct from seminal vesicle and opens into urethra as a um, ejaculatory duct. Okay. Urethra opens into urethra, ejaculatory duct. These ducts store and transport the sperm from testis to the outside through urethra. The urethra originates from the urinary bladder and extends to the penis to its external opening called urethral meatus. Urethral meatus. Ipo, while you're writing from here, testis to testis, from testis, what would be happening? One by one, you have to go through it, just like a flow chart. Okay, first, production, testis. After that, like that, you have to put that words alone in here. All right, that one alone. Automatically, you will be understanding which order you have to write. It's getting produced here. From there, it goes here, it goes here, then gets stored here, then ejaculate. Okay, that's what we have to do. Understand and put everything together. All right. Then Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells. This is Sertoli cells. The penis is the male external genitalia. It is made up of special tissue that helps in erection of the penis to facilitate insemination. The enlarged end of penis, called the glans penis, is covered by a loose fold or skin called foreskin. The male accessory gland include pad, seminal vesicle, a prostate, and bulbourethral gland. Secretion of these glands constitute the seminal plasma, which is rich in fructose, calcium, and certain enzymes. The secretion of bulbourethral gland also helps in the lubrication of penis. Okay. See here, this question they are asking again and again. All right, bulbourethral gland. Okay, the male accessory glands, the sperms are getting produced. Okay, semen doesn't only constitute of sperms alone. All right, so to enrich and to make the movement of penis into a penis, or for smooth movement, it will be producing lots of plasma, seminal plasmas. Those are known as accessory glands. What are they? Seminal vesicle, prostate, and bulbourethral gland. The combination is known as seminal plasma, which is rich in fructose, calcium, and certain enzymes. The secretion of bulbourethral gland also helps in the lubrication of the penis. Okay. Okay. One by one, systematically, you have to work with this. What is the use of Leydig cells? Androgen. All right. Help in synthesis and segregation of androgen. That's the male reproductive hormone. All right. Then from the retitestis, vasa efferentia, epididymis, and vas deferens. All right. From seminiferous tubules, testis opened into vasa efferentia, then through retitestis. All right. So first, from seminiferous tubule, okay, seminiferous tubule number one. Then next one, vasa Vasa
difference?
retitestis.
Retitestis.
Then vasa effrontia.
Vasa. Yeah.
Okay. Then epididymis. Then vas deferens.
Vas deferens.
Okay, that is the order. Then urethra to ejaculatory duct. Okay. Last, the opening is known as urethral meatus. Urethral meatus. Okay. Can we go into female reproductive? Okay. The female reproductive system. The female reproductive system consists of pair of ovaries along with pair of oviducts, ureterus, cervix, vagina, and external genitalia located in pelvic region. These parts of the system, along with a pair of mammary glands, are integrated structural and functionally to support the process of ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy, birth, and childcare. Birth and childcare. Ovaries are primary female sex organs that produce the female gamete, ovum. Several steroid hormones, ovarian hormones. Ovaries are located one on each side of the lower abdomen. Each ovary is about 2 to 4 centimeters in length and is connected to the pelvic wall and ureterus by ligaments. Each ovary is covered by a thin epithelium which encloses the ovarian stroma. Stroma is divided into two zones, peripheral cortex and inner medulla. Peripheral cortex and inner medulla. Okay. The data on the underline panikyama. Okay. Have you underlined this data? The required data?
I missed it.
Okay. All right. All right. Check here. What and all. This is cervix, rectum, vagina, anus, uterus, urinary bladder, pubic symphysis, urethra, clitoris, labium minora, labium minora, labium majora, labium minora, and labium majora. Then vaginal orifice opening. Okay. The diagrammatic section of the female pelvis showing reproductive system. The oviducts, that is fallopian tubes, uterus, and vagina consist of female accessory ducts. Each fallopian tube is about 10 to 12 centimeters long and extends from the periphery of each ovary to the uterus. The part closer to the ovary is the funnel-shaped infundibulum, and the edge of the infundibulum possesses finger-like projections called fimbriae, which helps in collection of ovum after ovulation. The infundibulum leads to wider part of the oviduct called ampulla. The last part of the oviduct, isthmus, has a narrow lumen and it joins the uterus. Okay. Wait. Okay. So ovary, from that infundibulum has long finger-like structures known as fimbriae. From that, it will get collected into ampulla and isthmus. These all combine form fallopian tube. Uterine fundament, uterine cavity. All right. Endometrium, myometrium, and perimetrium. Outside is perimetrium, myometrium, then finally endometrium. This is cervix, then cervical canal and vagina. Okay, this is what we are working here now. The uterus is single and is also called as womb. The shape of the uterus is like an inverted pear. It is supported by ligaments attached to the pelvic pelvic wall. The uterus opens into vagina through a narrow cervix. The cavity of the cervix is called cervical canal, which along with vagina forms birth canal. The wall of the uterus has three layers of tissue. The external is thin membranous perimetrium, middle thick layer of smooth muscle, myometrium, inner granular layer called endometrium that lines the uterine cavity. The endometrium undergoes cyclical changes during menstrual cycle, while the myometrium exhibits strong contraction during delivery of the baby. All right, the three layers. Okay, this is very important. These three layers. Okay, three layers of uterus has three layers of tissue. The outer layer, perimetrium, which is thin, middle thick layer of smooth muscles, myometrium, and inner glandular layer called endometrium. The endometrium undergoes cyclical change during menstrual cycle, while the myometrium exhibits strong contraction during delivery of the baby. Myometrium, the thick muscle, it produces the strong contraction which will help the baby to come up. Okay. The female external genitalia include mons pubic, labia majora, labia minora, hem, and clitoris. Mons pubis is a cushion of fatty tissue covered by skin and pubic hair. The labia majora are fleshy folds of tissue which extend down from the mons pubis and surround the vaginal opening. Labia minora are paired folds of tissue under the labia majora. The opening of vagina is often covered partially by membrane called hem. See here, there will be two folds of skin-like, okay, skin-like folds, fleshy folds of tissue down from mons pubis surrounded by vagina. That is known as labia minora, are paired tissues. Okay, majora and minora. Then covered by a membrane called hem. The clitoris is a tiny finger-like structure which lies at the upper junction of the two labia minora above the urethral opening. The hem is often torn during the first coitus, that is first intercourse. However, it can also be broken by sudden fall or jolt, insertion of vaginal tampon, and active participation in some sports like horseback riding, cycling, etc. In some women, the hem persists even after coitus. In fact, the presence or absence of hem is not the reliable indicator of virginity or sexual experience. A lot of people would be talking about this hem. Okay, hem. A lot of people think that if that's the first intercourse, it will be broken. All right, they will decide with him, broken him, but it's not true. When they are doing hard works and everything, it is possible for breaking of him. Next one, ribs, muscles between ribs, internal and external intercostal muscle, pectoralis major muscle, areola, nipple, lactiferous ducts, small ducts, ampulla, mammary duct, mammary alveolus, and mammary lobe. All right, these are the mammary glands. Okay, a functional mammary gland is characteristic of all female mammals. The mammary gland are pad structure breast that contains glandular tissue and variable amount of fat. The glandular tissue of each breast is divided into 15 to 20 mammary lobes, containing cluster of cells called alveoli. The cells of alveoli secrete milk, which is stored in the cavities, lumens of alveoli. The alveoli opens into mammary tubules. The tubules of each lobe join to form mammary duct. Several mammary ducts joined to form wider mammary ampulla, which is connected to lactiferous duct, through which milk is sucked out. Okay. 15 to 20 mammary lobes containing clusters of alveoli. Alveoli, which secretes milk and it gets stored in lumens. All right, stored in lumens. This alveoli opens into mammary duct, mammary tubules. Several tubules join to ampulla, then to the lactiferous duct, which produces through which milk is sucked out. Okay, one by one, 15 to 20 lobes, 15 to 20 lobes, then alveoli, then regarding mammary tubules, tubules combining to form duct, ducts to ampulla, ampulla to lactiferous duct, from the water milk is being sucked out. Okay, almost half is over. Almost half is over. Another half is there. Not washing. Just cool down, relax a bit. We will go into that. We have more time. Today I came by bike.
Oh, yeah, I noticed. I thought you were coming by train.
Train. I was waiting for train. Yeah.
I was actually ready. I think stable. What happened?
Morning, I thought of starting by 5:40. 5:40 there is a train. And I thought of sleeping by 10 itself yesterday. There was an urgent requirement for interview. And I was taking that interview regarding selection of fees, the selection of fees payment for some of the underprivileged students. It was going on and on. It was around 2:30. I thought, okay, I will get up and go as planned. I woke up when your dad called on me. I just woke up and saw, okay, let's go and catch the train. For 50 minutes, no train for Kadampu. It's coming for Avadi, Patapuram, Siding. I asked them when it would be coming. I don't know it has been cancelled or something. Okay, I took the bike and came here by bike itself.
I've been like 2 hours travel.
No, bike, it took only 1.5 hours. After I took the bike.
Morning, no traffic. Morning will not be traffic.
The way which I come will not be having any traffic at all. It will be free.
I was thinking with the traffic.
It was free, so it was not a problem. Just came like that.
Because you sent one email saying that about lipology.
Sorry? Okay. Gametogenesis. The primary sex organ, the testes in the male and the ovaries in the female, produce gametes. Sperm produce gametes, sperm and ovum, respectively, by the process called gametogenesis. If in testes, the immature male germ cells, spermatogonia, produce sperms by spermatogenesis that begins at puberty. The spermatogonia, single spermatogonium, singular, okay, present on the inside wall of the seminiferous tubule, multiply by mitotic division and increase in number. Each spermatogonia is diploid and contains 46 chromosomes. Some of the spermatogonia called primary spermatocytes periodically undergo meiosis. The primary spermatocyte completes the first mitotic division, that is reduction division, leading to formation of two equal haploid cells called secondary spermatocytes, which have only 23 chromosomes. First, here it has diploid, which it has 46 chromosomes. After the first mitotic division, reduction division, two equal, known as secondary spermatocyte, which has 23 each. The secondary spermatocyte undergo the second mitotic division to produce 4 equal haploid spermatocytes. What would be the number of chromosomes in spermatocytes? Second one is mitotic. First, it undergoes meiosis. Okay, periodically undergo meiosis. Then this one undergo mitotic division leading to 23. All right. Here, again, these two will be divided back. But this time also, it will be having 23 chromosomes. Equal sharing of chromosomes will be there. Okay. Number of chromosomes in spermatid will be 23 only. The spermatid are transformed into spermatozoa sperms by the process called spermiogenesis. After spermiogenesis, sperm head becomes embedded in the Sertoli cells and are finally released from seminiferous tubule by the process of spermiation. Spermiation. Here, what happens? First, these are the primary spermatocytes. This will divide into 2, 23, 23. And again, in turn, this will divide into 2, 2, giving 4. All right. Here, after this division, it will be 23, 23. From there on, again, the other division will be producing 23, 23 identical sperms. Okay. The formation is known as spermiogenesis, and release. When the sperm is released from seminiferous tubules, it is known as spermiation. Spermatogenesis starts at the age of puberty due to significant increase in secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH. Gonadotropin releasing hormone. This is also this, if you recall, is a hypothalamic hormone. Hypothalamic hormone. The increased levels of GnRH then acts at the anterior pituitary gland and stimulates secretion of two gonadotropins, LH, luteinizing hormone, and follicle stimulating hormone, FSH. Follicle stimulating hormone, FSH. The luteinizing hormone acts at the Leydig cells and stimulates synthesis or segregation of androgen. LH, luteinizing hormone, the only luteinizing hormone will be acting on Leydig cells. We already saw Leydig cell produce androgens. Androgen in turn stimulate the process of spermatogenesis. FSH act on the Sertoli cells and stimulates secretion of some factors which help in the process of spermiogenesis. Hmm? 1 minute.
Okay.
It's rolling. Sometimes it happens. Now it will go.
It was frozen for a little while, then I moved.
Okay. Secretion of some factors which help in process of spermiogenesis. Okay. Let us examine the structure of sperm. It is a microscopic structure composed of head, neck, a middle piece, and tail. A plasma membrane envelops the whole body of the sperm. The sperm head contains an elongated haploid nucleus. Elongated haploid nucleus. Elongated haploid nucleus. The anterior portion of which is covered by the cap-like structure, acrosome. Acrosome. The acrosome is filled with enzyme that helps fertilization of the ovum. The middle piece possesses numerous mitochondria, which produce energy for the movement of tail that facilitate sperm motility, essential for fertilization. Here, the middle piece. This contains mitochondria. Mitochondria is the energy source. All right, energy source. So the middle piece possesses numerous mitochondria which produce energy for the movement of tail. Which facilitate motility movement. The human male ejaculates 200 to 300 million sperms during coitus, of which for normal fertility, at least 60% of sperm must have normal shape and size. At least 40% of them must show rigorous motility. Okay. Sperms released from what happened? Okay.
This line so that we will remember.
Sperm released from
Deciding on something.
Sperm released from seminiferous tubules are transported by the accessory duct. Secretions of epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicle, vas deferens. It's getting stuck again and again. Seminal vesicle and prostate are essential for maturation of motility.
That's a nice guy.
Check what's happening. The seminal plasma epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicle, and prostate.
That's like a Bluetooth.
Yeah, Bluetooth. The seminal phase, along with the sperm, constitute the semen. So yes, the seminal plasma, along with the sperms, constitute the semen. The function of male sex accessory ducts and glands are maintained by the testicular hormones androgen, which has been produced by Leydig cells. All right, just write Leydig there. Okay, it will be easy for you. The process of formation of mature female gamete is called as oogenesis, which is markedly different from spermatogenesis. Oogenesis is initiated during the embryonic development stage when couple of million gamete mother cell oogonia are formed within each fetal ovary. No more oogonia are formed and added after birth. Spermatogonia, it was replicating by itself, isn't it? Or oogonia, that is egg cell. While the formation of fetus itself, the oogonia egg cells are formed then and there. After birth, no more cells is going to be added to it. All right. These cells start division and enter into prophase 1 of mitotic division and get temporarily arrested at that stage, called primary oocytes. Primary oocytes. Each primary oocyte then gets surrounded by a layer of granulosa cells. It's called primary follicle. Primary follicle. A large number of follicles degenerate during the phase from birth to puberty. Therefore, at puberty, only 60,000 to 80,000 primary follicles are left in each ovary. The primary follicles get surrounded by more layer of granulosa cells and a new theca and are called secondary follicles. Okay. Now, what is oogenesis is completely different from spermatogenesis. All right. Here, while formation of fetus itself, we would be getting this oogonia. More than million of oogonia would be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Explain.
Okay.
Oh, this is different, right?
Yeah.
Differentiating them.
More than millions of gamete megacells, that is oogonia, will be there. But slowly after birth, it will be generating, dividing mitotically, and there will be a follicle surrounding it. That is known as primary follicle. That is, it will be surrounded by granulosa cells. Granulosa cells, which is known as primary follicle. Then a large number of follicles degenerate during the phase from birth to puberty. It will again degenerate again and again. Finally, at the puberty, they will be having around 60 to 80,000 primary follicles. From million, it would be around degenerated to around 60 to 80,000 only. So again, the primary follicles get surrounded by more layer of granulosa cells and new theca known as secondary follicles. 2 layers of follicles are formed. The secondary follicle soon transforms into tertiary follicle, which is characterized by the fluid-filled cavity called antrum. The theca is the layer. The theca layer is organized into an inner theca interna and outer theca externa. Outer theca externa. It is important to draw your attention that it is at this stage that the primary oocyte within the tertiary follicle grows in size and completes its first meiotic division. It is an unequal division resulting in the formation of large haploid secondary oocytes and the tiny first polar body. Okay. Here, primary follicles, then secondary, tertiary, showing antrum, then it becomes Graafian follicle. All right, Graafian follicle, then it releases the ovum, corpus luteum, it will be coming out, blood vessels entering and leaving. All right. Okay. The secondary oocyte retains bulk of the nutrient-rich cytoplasm of the primary oocytes. Can you think of any advantage of this? Does the first polar body born out of this meiotic division divide further or degenerate? At present, we are not very certain about this. The tertiary follicle further changes into the tertiary. From primary, it becomes secondary. After secondary, it will be covered with antrum, and the last one, third, after degenerating, it becomes Graafian follicle. Graafian follicle, mature follicle or Graafian follicle. The secondary oocyte forms a new membrane called zona pellucida. Zona pellucida surrounding it. The graphene follicle now ruptures to release the secondary oocyte ovum from the ovary by the process called ovulation. The process of releasing the ovum from the graphene follicle by rupture is known as ovulation. Can you identify major difference between spermatogenesis and oogenesis? A diagrammatic representation of spermatogenesis and oogenesis is given below. First, at puberty.
She made us draw this. She made us draw this.
Okay. From fetal life, to the first phase, it will slowly degenerate. Okay. Here it is getting from oogonia, again it forms primary oocytes, and from that it becomes secondary oocyte. From there, it will cover with antrum and form tertiary oocyte, which matures to form graphene follicle. All right, graphene follicle, which ruptures to produce the ovum. Okay, this is the adult. Okay, after puberty, from puberty, this will be happening. It will be regenerating to become a primary, then secondary. When you attain puberty, automatically it would go to the next stage: secondary oocyte, tertiary oocyte, finally ovum. All right, that is the fetal life. This is where it will be generated, mitotic division. After that, unless this puberty, nothing is going to get added. But we have this oogonia ready with us, which will be covered with primary follicle, then secondary follicle, then tertiary, then it becomes graphene follicle, and from that ovum is released. Okay, here first both as 46. All right, at this phase it converts into 23. From here again, this is also 23 number of chromosomes. It will keep on increasing, but this start from puberty only. But for girl child, it would be starting from the initial phases. Menstrual cycle 3.4. The reproductive cycle of a female primates, monkey, apes, and human being is called menstrual cycle. The first menstruation begins at puberty and is called menarche. In human females, menstruation is repeated at the average interval of 28 to 29 days. And the cycle of events starting from one menstruation till the next one is called menstrual cycle. One ovum is released during the middle. Okay. See here. Red is FSH. Blue is LH. What is FSH? Follicle stimulating hormone. LH is luteinizing hormone. This luteinizing hormone will initiate these two are produced in pituitary glands. Okay, this will initiate the formation of initiate the act of Leydig cell. That Leydig cell automatically produces androgen. That androgen will help in production of sperm. Right? So FSH and LH. Okay. Then ovarian events. Primary developing follicles. Then mature follicle becomes graphene follicle. Again, after that, it ruptures and ovulation, releasing of ovum. Then this shell, developing corpus luteum, regression of corpus luteum. Okay. ovarian hormone levels, estrogen, will be high in ovulation and proestrogen will be high while developing corpus luteum. Then uterine events, what would be happening? All right, menstruation, follicular phase, proliferative phase. It is also known as proliferative phase. Then luteal phase, secretory phase, next cycle begins. And again, all right, again and again. Okay, this is what we are working on now. One ovum is released during the middle of each menstrual cycle. The major event of the menstrual cycle are shown in Fig 3.9. The cycle starts with the menstrual phase when menstrual flow occurs and it lasts for 2 to 5 days. The menstrual flow results due to breakdown of endometrial lining of the uterus and its blood vessel, which forms liquid that comes out through vagina. Menstruation only occurs if the released ovum is not fertilized. Lack of menstruation may be indicative of pregnancy. Lack of menstruation indicative of pregnancy. However, it may also be caused due to some other underlying causes like stress, poor health, etc. The menstrual phase is followed by the follicular phase. During this phase, the primary follicle in the ovary grows to become a fully mature Graafian follicle. And simultaneously, the endometrium of uterus regenerates through proliferation. These changes in the ovary and the uterus are induced by changes in the levels of pituitary and ovarian hormone. The secretion of FSH, LH, then estrogen, proestrogen. Estrogen, proestrogen. Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The secretion of gonadotrophins, LH, luteinizing hormone, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, increases gradually during the follicular phase and stimulates follicular development as well as secretion of estrogen by the growing follicles. Both LH and FSH attain the peak level in the middle, about 14th day. Rapid secretion of LH leading to maximum level during the mid-cycle called LH surge induces rupture of Graafian follicle and thereby releases ovum. So slowly it increases at the 14th day. 14th day, the LH luteinizing hormones level will be high, rupturing the Graafian follicle, thereby releasing the ovum, which is known as ovulation. The ovulatory phase is followed by luteal phase, during which the remaining part of Graafian follicle transforms as corpus luteum. Corpus luteum secretes large amount of progesterone, which is essential for maintenance of endometrium. Such an endometrium is necessary for implantation of fertilized ovum and other events of pregnancy. During pregnancy, all events of menstrual cycle stop and there is no menstruation. In the absence of fertilization, the corpus luteum degenerates. This causes disintegration of endometrium, leading to menstruation, marking a new cycle. In human beings, menstrual cycle ceases after 50 years of age. That is termed as menopause. Cyclic menstruation is an indicator of normal reproductive phase and extends between menarche and menopause. Okay. When a female child would become attain puberty?
At least at 14.
14. Okay. completes at 50. 50 minus 14. 50 minus 14. What's that? Minus 4, 46. Minus, minus 10. 36. Okay.
So only for 36.
So 36 years. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Go watch the TV.
36. So 36 into 12.
Very suspicious.
Uh,
Same thought. Whatever it is, I'm ready to have it. I don't mind.
all right. Menstrual hygiene. So 36 into 12. 360 plus 72. 338. 408. So around 408 eggs only, ovum only will be released out of 60,000 to 80,000 primary oocytes. Okay. First, the ovary would be producing at the time of fetus itself, it would be having million. So it slowly degenerates. It slowly degenerates and thank you.
Why?
It's good, huh?
Why? Like, go watch the TV. Amma, you're angry at me, huh? Okay.
So menstrual hygiene. Maintenance of hygiene and sanitation during the menstruation is very important. Take bath and clean yourself regularly. Use sanitary napkins or clean homemade pads. Change sanitary napkins or homemade pads after every 4 to 5 hours per the requirement. Dispose of the used sanitary napkins properly, wrapping it with the used paper. Do not throw the used napkins in the drain pipe of toilets or the open area. After handling the napkins, wash hands with soap. Being hygienic is very important. Fertilization and
I'm already on.
implantation.
I'm already on.
During copulation, coitus is released by the penis into the vagina, insemination. Releasing the semen into the vagina is known as insemination. The motile sperm swim rapidly, passes through this cervix, enter into the uterus. First vagina, then to cervix, then to uterus, and finally reach ampullary region of the fallopian tube. The ovum released by the ovary is also transported to the ampullary region where fertilization takes place. Fertilization can only occur in the ovum if the ovum and sperm are transported simultaneously to the ampullary region. This is the reason why not all copulation leads to fertilization and pregnancy. Check it. Lot of people would be having different thoughts. Okay, a lot of people would be having different thoughts regarding that. Yeah, definitely. They'll be having different thoughts. If there is copulation, there will be pregnancy, but it doesn't happen. The releasing of sperm and the ovum should be seen. That is around the 13th, 14th, and 15th day would be the best day for. Apart from that, it will not happen. Okay? After that 14th day, it would be good, but the best days would be from 13, 14, and 15 would be the best days. This is the reason why not all copulations lead to fertilization and pregnancy. The process of fusion of the sperm with the ovum is called fertilization. During fertilization, a sperm comes in contact with the zona pellucida. We went through this layer beforehand. Zona pellucida. And induces change in the membrane that block the entry of additional sperms. Thus, it ensures that only one sperm can fertilize an ovum. The secretion of the acrosome help in the sperms enter into the cytoplasm of the ovum through the zona pellucida. Here, this is the zona pellucida, okay, of the ovum, and there is acrosome at the head center that as an acid, okay, that as an acid, and this one as a base. So as the acrosome reacts with it, it forms a hole. It forms a hole, and the nucleus is being elongated nucleus is being pushed into it. When this is pushed into it, automatically there will be like a lock. No other sperms can enter after that. No other sperms can enter after that. Thus, it ensures that only zona pellucida layer of the ovum and induces change in the membrane that blocks the entry of additional sperm. Thus, it ensures that only one sperm can fertilize an ovum. The secretion of the acrosome helps the sperm enter into the cytoplasm of the ovum through the zona pellucida and the plasma membrane. This induces the completion of meiotic division of the secondary oocyte. The second meiotic division is also unequal and result in formation of second polar body and a haploid ovum. Soon the haploid nucleus of the sperm and that of the ovum fuse together to form diploid zygote. Okay, diploid zygote. Ooted. Okay, haploid ovum known as ooted and the sperm fuses together to form a zygote. How many chromosomes will be there in the zygote? What do you think? How many chromosomes in the zygote?
23.
46. 23 from egg and 23 from sperm. It forms
separately.
23 pairs. Okay, we can say 23 pairs. That is 22 normal chromosomes and one sex chromosome. What happened? What happened? Okay, fine. One has to remember that the sex of the baby has been decided at this stage. Let us see how. As you know, the chromosome pattern in the human female is XX and that of male is XY. Therefore, all the haploid gametes, ova, produced by the female have the sex chromosome X, whereas a male gamete, sperms, the sex chromosome would be either X or Y. Hence, 50% of sperm carry the X chromosome, while the other 50% carry the Y chromosome. After fusion of the male and female gametes, the zygote would carry either XX or XY, depending on whether the sperm carrying X or Y fertilize the ovum. The zygote carrying XX would develop into female baby, and XY would form a male. You will learn more about the chromosomal pattern in chapter 5. That is why scientifically it is correct to say that the sex of the baby is determined by the father and not by the mother. Okay? Determined by the father and not by the mother.
Here in one village there is no females at all.
No females at all. How come?
One village.
Is there so?
So even now also. They killed everybody.
Oh, we should put them in jail. Is that? Female baby are good babies. Like you presented very good.
First, someone has to go explain for the people in North India.
They are just coming out now. Okay.
They better come out.
The mitotic division starts as the zygote moves through the isthmus of the oviduct called cleavage towards the uterus and forms 2, 4, 8, and 16 daughter cells called blastomeres. The embryo with 8 to 16 here. The mitotic division of zygote moves through the isthmus of the oviduct called cleavage toward the uterus and forms 2, 2, 4, 16 daughter cells called blastomeres. Blastomeres. Okay. Blastomeres. The embryo with 8 to 16 it's getting stuck down. I don't know why. What we can do?
Say destroy it.
No, she will not. We can give a break and go and play. What is it? Huh? Wait, we will complete this. Complete
this
part
chapter
and
we are
give a break.
almost done.
Yeah, it's going to be completed.
Just one page.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I think the next one will also be like.
Yeah. Blastomere is called as morula. Morula. Tell morula. Morula continues to divide and transforms into blastocyst. As it moves further into uterus, blastomeres in the blastocyst are arranged in the outer layer called tropoblast, and the inner group of cells attached to tropoblast is called inner cell mass. The tropoblast layer then gets attached to endometrium, and the inner cell mass gets differentiated as the embryo. After attachment, the uterine cells divide rapidly and covers the blastocyte. Divides rapidly and cover the blastocyte. As a result, the blastocysts become embedded in the endometrium of the uterus. This is called implantation, and it leads to pregnancy. Awesome. We are going to complete soon and we are going to play soon. Okay, one more page. I'll complete and come. Then we can go and play.
Yeah, right? The bikes, did my father leave?
What more?
I think my father left. That's why she's here.
It's okay. I'm happy she's here. I'm happy, Mom. You are here. Okay. Pregnancy and embryonic development. The final stage. After.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My worst topic. The worst topic is still there.
The pregnancy and embryonic development. After implantation, finger-like projections appear on the trophoblast called chronic villi. Finger-like projections, which are surrounded by the uterine tissue and maternal blood. Chronic villi and uterine tissue become interdigitated with each other and jointly form a structural and functional unit between developing embryo and maternal body called placenta. The placenta facilitates the supply of oxygen and nutrients to the embryo and also removal of carbon dioxide. The placenta facilitates the supply of oxygen and nutrient to the embryo and also removal of carbon dioxide. Supply oxygen, removal of carbon dioxide. And excretory waste material produced by the embryo. The placenta is connected to the embryo through a umbilical cord, which helps in the transport of substance to and from the embryo. Placenta also act as an endocrine tissue and produce several hormones like human chorionic gonadotropin, human chronic gonadotrophin,
Gonadotrophin.
gonadotrophin, gonado, gonadotrophin, then human tropin, tropin, and placental lactogen, then estrogens, progestrogens, okay, progestogen. In the later phase of pregnancy, a hormone called relaxin is also secreted by the ovary. Let us remember that human chronic gonadotrophin and human placental lactogen and relaxin are produced in women during pregnancy. In addition, during pregnancy, the level of other hormones like estrogen, progestogen, cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine, etc. are increased several folds in the maternal blood. Increased production of these hormones is essential for supporting the fetal growth, metabolic change in the mother, and maintenance of pregnancy. Immediately after implantation, the inner cell mass embryo differentiate into outer layer called ectoderm and the inner layer called endoderm. A mesoderm soon appears between the ectoderm and endoderm. These three layers give rise to all tissues, organs in adults. It needs to be mentioned here that the inner cell mass contains certain cells called stem cells, which have the potency to give rise to all tissues and organs. What are the major features of embryonic development of various months of pregnancy? The human pregnancy lasts 9 months. Do you know how many months pregnancy lasts in dogs, elephants, and cats? Find out. I have to find out too.
Whatever.
In human beings, after one.
Elephants, I think it will be. I don't know.
So we can just check it.
Dogs will be like, I think, first I want to know for dog. I say I'm not getting this pronunciation again.
Which one?
Umbilical.
Umbilical.
Umbilical cord.
Tuppulkudi. Umbilical cord.
That's my worst enemy. That is the cause of the mark in my cheek. Yes. And what I'm getting even more bulk nowadays is some of the teachers are noticing it now after 3 years.
Okay. 22 months.
3 years. 22 months.
For elephant, it is 22 months. Wow, super.
Already they're so, and when they get angry, they'll immediately start attacking us.
Okay.
So,
Nothing. Elephants, 645 days.
that was only
22 months. Asian elephant, 21 months.
Oh, these two alone will have a different.
African elephant, just 645 days. Elephant, Asian.
20, yeah?
Then whale.
20 months, huh?
Whale, sperm whale, 480 to 590. Then rhino, 450.
At least this is better.
Rhino, 450.
For dog?
Let's see. Then giraffe, 420. Donkey, 365. Zebra, 360. Camel, 360. Sea lion, 350. Alpaca, 335.
I actually forgot what an alpaca looks like. I'm going to see. Oh yeah, almost like a llama.
Okay.
Actually, it almost reminds me of someone in law. Really get it. What is this? What animal has the?
Mm.
I wonder what animal.
Which one?
Vagina. Very sad.
Longest gestation period. Shortest pregnancy period. Let's go for shortest then.
What is that? What is what?
Virginian possum. 12 days.
Oh, wow. Those creatures. I mean, they're
Mm.
small. Just
Mm.
only. But tail alone will be like here.
Yeah.
Those things will act like a monkey.
Possum.
That's
This
not
is
even a possum. That's a hamster.
hamster 16 to 23. Mouse 19. 21. Rat 21 to 23. Muskrat, rabbit, squirrel, chipmunk. 1 month.
Which is 1 month?
Chipmunk.
Nice.
You're looking so sweet. What's going on?
They said, where did you get that rubber band? Where did you get that rubber band? Seriously, that's the only rubber band that is very good.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Huh? You're speaking with your sisters, isn't it? At that time, I paused it. You're
Better.
speaking about rubber bands.
Better.
After 1 month of pregnancy, the embryo heart is formed. The first sign of growing fetus may be noticed by listening to the heart sound carefully through the stethoscope. By the end of the 2nd month of pregnancy, the fetus develops limbs and digits.
Digits, like fingers.
Okay.
Joints.
Yeah. By the 2nd month of pregnancy, the fetus develops limbs and digits. By the end of the 12th first trimester, most of the major organ systems are formed. For example, limbs, external genitalia, as
Where is
well
it?
as
I am marking.
okay. First sign of growing fetus may be noticed by listening to the heart sound carefully through the stethoscope first. By the end of the 2nd month,
That is also called stethoscope.
Which one?
That machine which they use ultra.
No. This one, which we hear.
How can we hear that? That heart will be this much.
We can hear that sound. Your sister has a stethoscope, isn't it?
I hate it.
Hit it. Why? Okay.
Otherwise, she's wantedly coming and checking on my heartbeat. Mainly my father and my mother.
By the end of the 2nd month of pregnancy, the fetus develops limbs and digits. By the end of the 12th week, first trimester, most of the major organ systems are formed. For example, limbs and external genitalia organs, as well as are well developed. The first movement of fetus and appearance of air on it are usually observed during the 5th month. By the end of about 24 weeks, end of the 2nd trimester, the body is covered with fine air. Eyelids separate and eyelashes are formed. By the end of the 9th month of pregnancy, the fetus is fully developed and is ready for delivery. Okay, we are going into the final part. The end.
Especially which I don't understand completely.
Okay. Parturition and lactation. The average duration of human pregnancy is about 9 months, which is called
9 months.
gestation period.
I thought 12 months. I mean,
No, 10 months.
10 months.
Fully maturing. But by 9 months itself, the fetus will be ready to come out. Okay. The pain should arise and everything should be there, isn't it? A lot of people after 9 months itself, they are performing operation and bringing the child.
10th month.
Hmm?
I came
10th
out.
month is good because the baby will be matured, still more mature.
Actually, they made the date as July, but I came at, I mean, August only they've kept the date on 10th.
August 10th they kept the date.
Yes, but I came after 10 days. First week.
Rigorous contraction of the uterus at the end of pregnancy cause expulsion. Clear? Vigorous contraction of uterus causes expulsion or delivery of the fetus. This process of delivery of fetus, childbirth, is called parturition. At the end of gestation period, there will be a vigorous contraction in uterus causing the expulsion or delivery of the fetus, child. Okay, that process of delivery of fetus or childbirth is known as parturition. You want to sit?
Hey, sir's bag here.
It's okay. Thank you. Thank you. Parturition is induced by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. The signals for parturition originate from the fully developed fetus and the placenta, which induces mild uterine contraction called fetal ejection reflex. Here, parturition is induced by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. The signals for parturition originate from the fully developed fetus and the placenta, which induce mild uterine contractions. Mild uterine contraction called fetal ejection reflex. This triggers release of oxytocin from maternal pituitary. Oxytocin from maternal pituitary. Oxytocin act on the uterine muscle and cause strong uterine contractions, which in turn stimulates further secretion of oxytocin. The stimulatory reflex between the uterine contraction and oxytocin secretion continues, resulting in strong contractions. This leads to expulsion of baby out of uterus through birth canal, parturition. Soon after the infant is delivered, the placenta is also expelled out of the uterus. What do you think the doctor inject to induce delivery?
Induce means? Induce?
Induce, if the pain is coming naturally and the child is getting, the uterus is contracting and moving up. I'm having my hand here, all right? I'm taking this naturally, all right? If you're going to hit me and I take it, it means induced. You induce me like that. There is an injection to induce the pain and contraction. That would be oxytocin. If you inject this hormone, automatically the contraction will be high. Automatically the pain would be coming. All right, contraction will be more. As it induces more and more from pituitary, again it secrete more oxytocin, contracting and pushing the baby up. All right. Soon after the infant is delivered, the placenta is also expelled out of the uterus. What do you think the doctor injects to induce delivery? The mammary glands of the female undergo differentiation during pregnancy and starts producing milk towards the end of the pregnancy by the process called lactation. This helps the mother in feeding the newborn. Feeding the newborn. Milk produced during the initial few days of lactation is called colostrum. Colostrum, which contains several antibodies absolutely essential to develop resistance for the newborn babies. Colostrum, it is very important to feed the baby with milk initial days, which has several antibodies. Some people will not like this uh, milk, feeding milk. Those child naturally will be somewhat weak. There will be some problem with them. So it is really, really important. Breastfeeding during the initial period of infant growth is recommended by doctors for bringing up a healthy baby. Baby? Baby? You're a baby?
I remember
No?
this Madam Ji. She is also a surgery baby.
So sweet. So sweet. Okay.
என்னடி அப்படி blink பண்ற? I'm thinking what is going on.
Yes, that's what. Nah. Nah.
He is UKG.